Welcome, my friends, to Pop Culture Fridays. I'm your host, Troy Ramos. This is the first one ever, PCF, on the books. Now, don't change that dial, folks. I got a story about a dead body. You're going to want to hear it. Well, it's not a story. It's more like a thought. So I'm in Michigan. That's where we're filming here. Just got back, staying with family before I go back to Detroit. Took a jog in a field nearby. I've seen coyotes out there. I've seen groups of turkeys, gaggles of turkeys. Anyway, bobcat, mountain lion, black panther, occasionally black bear, but not very common. Anyway, tons of deer around. You know things are being eaten, right? But you never see a dead body. So I'm jogging and I'm thinking, why don't I see any bodies around here? Should be a fucking cemetery out here. And then it occurred to me, I think I know what's going on here. Just like serial killers. Now, just hold with me here. I think you're going to follow this theory. I think it's not a bad one. Like serial killers, these animals kill a deer or rabbit or whatever. They drag the body back into the woods so that nobody sees it. Because if humans see dead bodies, and they got to be eaten every night, right? If they see these bodies, they're going to know something's around. So the animals know they're going to grab a pitchfork. The humans are going to grab pitchforks and guns, and they're going to go to Kill Town. Smart cookies out there in the woods, folks. Don't jog at night. That's all I have to say. Hey, listen, let's get to pop culture. I've got a special episode this time. It's my Oscar predictions happening soon. You may be seeing this afterwards. Well, then you'll just see how accurate I was. And it's going to be a pretty high score, I think. Let's get right into it. Pop Culture Fridays, Oscar predictions, episode 1. I got my handy-dandy little book here, so you know I'm taking this serious, guys. Come on. Trying to build those views. Click on that like button, subscribe, whatever you got to do. Get me off the Arby's late night drive-through line, man. All right, we're going to jump right into this, and I'm going to go with the best. I'm going to save the best picture for the end. Got all 9 nominations. I've seen all of them. Going to have them 9-1. But before that, let's go through what I think are going to be the best actors and actresses. We'll start with ladies first. Best actresses. Here's what it is. Saoirse Ronan, best actress. You heard me. Saoirse Ronan, Little Women. Didn't really want to see it. I'm not a big remake person. The other one with Claire Danes back in the 90s is pretty good. I don't know who else is in it. Winona Ryder, I think. Yeah, anyway. I think she's going to get it. I'm tempted to give it to Scarlett Johansson because she's, you know... Now, I've knocked her down to number 2. Lost in Translation put her just in the stratosphere, guys. And then a woman named Greta Gerwig came along. If I could spin my head around and keep whistling, I'd be like... You guys are lucky. The world is lucky I'm not in the Hollywood Foreign Press, because it's the first day we'd get together and I'd just go, Greta Gerwig! And they'd be like, what? What is he yelling? And I'd be like, Greta Gerwig! And they're like, she's not even in anything. I'm like, don't you talk about her. Don't you do it. Anyway, whatever. Saoirse Ronan, that's my pick. Best Supporting Actress. Now I'm going to go Scarlett Johansson, Jojo Rabbit. Love that movie. I got some things to say about it later. I thought it was fantastic. She was fantastic. Great movie. So there you go. There's the Best Actress, Supporting Actress. Best Supporting Actor. We'll start there. Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What a fantastic film. Loved it. It's fun. Pitt's back. He's in one of my snub lists, too. I got a snub list right here. Ad Astra should have been on that list, I think. I love that movie. Brad Pitt, he's back, I think. I don't know where he went. But I haven't really seen anything with him in quite a while, so I guess he's back. And Best Actor. Let's get right to it here. I'm not messing around today. Best Actor, I think you know who it's going to be. It's got to be Joaquin Phoenix. This guy's amazing. I know people have so many problems with this movie. I don't understand who or why. This whole thing with the military putting out the alerts, and that sparks the predictable left-right debate. Look, he's not a white shooter. First of all, it's a comic book movie. Okay, that's number one. They're not real. Number two, it's totally about class. The people who are criticizing the movie should be fans of it. And I think it's about what happens, to a society where people kick mental health, people in need of mental health in the corner and abandon them. You can do that for thousands and thousands of people. Eventually somebody is going to strike back. Now he's a murderer. I'm not going to say Joker is my favorite guy. I don't support his tactics. But there are some interesting articles out there. I did an episode on an old podcast about how Joker is the good guy. I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. Joker is the good guy and Batman is the villain. Interesting stuff. You can give it a Google and you'll see what I'm talking about. But this performance was fantastic. Joaquin Phoenix is amazing. You got to see this movie. If you haven't seen it, see it twice. I got to see it again because I was a little, whatever. I'll save that for the Best Picture thing. Joaquin Phoenix has got it, though. There you go. One more thing, Best Director. I almost went with Todd Phillips for Joker, but I'm going to go with Sam Mendes on this incredible movie. And I'm going to save my comments for the Best Picture. But Sam Mendes also did Revolutionary Road. What a movie that is. I could talk all day about that one. I kind of want to right now. Gonna resist. And he did American Beauty, too. So spanned a long time. American Beauty was like late 90s, I think. Was it? No. Early 2000s? Anyway, I think Sam Mendes is going to get. Those are my predictions. Now, let's go to the snub list here. Greta Gerwig. That's my girl. Put her up there. Come on. Keep her up. Just leave it up. Look at that. Why would you ever pay attention to me when that's up there? I think Adam Sandler got snubbed. I don't think Uncut Gems should have been the Best Picture, but I think Sandler did a great job. Uncut Gems is very tense. It's a tense experience. But he's great in it. So, if you look at the Best Actor, I didn't see Antonio Banderas's Pain and Glory or Jonathan Pryce's Two Popes. I'm not watching any film about the Pope or popes or Catholic stuff. Nah. Spotlight was good, but even that, it's I don't want to hear about it. Just go away already. Sorry, I don't mean to offend. But I'm not going to watch it. And I think Sandler should have been in there. The King on Netflix. Now, I don't know if Netflix films should qualify for Best Picture. I think they should. Some people mentioned Dolomite. I haven't seen that one. But The King with Timothée Chalamet was really good. You really get as best as you can, I guess, an idea of what it's like to be a king or a queen, and all the people around you and the pressure and all the snakes wanting to stab you in the back. It's a great movie. So I thought that got a snub. Ad Astra, as I already mentioned. I watched Midsommar with a couple of dear friends in Portland, Oregon. I think you know who you are. Great film. Same director who did Hereditary. The name escapes me again. You can put it in there. Start with "You idiot, it's so-and-so." And, it's a horror film, but it's like psychological horror. It's great. I don't want to do any spoilers, by the way. I'm trying to avoid spoilers to go into it. That's why I'm moving kind of fast through these. So I think Midsommar maybe got a slight. Star Wars. There's going to be a Star Wars episode coming up down the line where we talk about how it's all wrapped up, quote unquote. You think Disney just bought the rights to this series or Star Wars, 5 years ago? You think they're going to wrap it up in 5 years? There's more coming, folks. Better get your lube out because you're going to get it. Anyway, I thought it was great. It was a great way to finish it up. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but it could have been really dark and depressing. I thought they were going to kill off a bunch of people, and I would have just had to have left the theater. But it's great. They wrapped it up great. I saw it twice. I've seen it twice already, and it's only been out for a month or so. So the last one of the snub, and I liked this movie. Saw it in Portland, Oregon again, talking about it with some friends, and they convinced me that this movie is better than I had thought. So I need to see this again. I think The Lighthouse, I don't know if I mentioned it, but The Lighthouse should be on there, especially when you get to my bottom half of the nominations. I think The Lighthouse should be up there. Ad Astra should be up there. That's just my stupid opinion. All right, boom. Should we go to it? Let's go to it. Here's my predictions. And they don't number these, of course, 9-1 when they hand out the awards. They should. It's like a 4-hour ceremony. But I'm going to give it to you in groups of 3. All right, so I'm going to put all 3, starting with the worst of the 9, I think. Doesn't mean they're terrible movies, although some of these I think are not good. But I'll just give it to you in order. Are you ready? All right. Number 9. Just go 7, 8, 9. The worst one, The Irishman. Hit the fucking snooze button. Wait. Get out your phone when you watch The Irishman. Set it for 3 hours. Take a nap. Wake up. See the end. Be done with it. That's my review of The Irishman. Good Lord. I'm going to get whacked by Pesci and De Niro for saying this, but you can't be a 90-year-old guy playing a 22-year-old version of yourself. The CGI, sure, it looked okay, but you're still moving like, punching a guy like, am I supposed to buy that? Come on, get out of here. Make something besides a mafia story. You don't have to make a mafia movie every time, Mr. Scorsese. I love Casino. That's great. You're not going to top Casino. If it's Scorsese, right? Oh boy, I'm getting in trouble. All right, so 7 and 8, doesn't matter what order. Marriage Story, such a niche little thing about a theater director and an actress who divorced. It felt like a New York Times after-school story about marriage and divorce. Because I feel like that's the group that wants to say, well, divorce is inevitable. So how can we be better at divorcing? And this is a very nice way to see through. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see this when I go into the theater. I don't want a dose of reality. That's not why I go into artistic circles. It doesn't mean I can't handle it. I love documentaries. That's great. But not very often. I don't want to go in there and I'm not going to watch Blue Valentine again. I would highly recommend you don't watch Blue Valentine. That's just me. All right, so in the bottom third here, rounding it out, Parasite. Same director who did Snowpiercer. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was great. I saw it in Portland, Oregon. Portland, if you don't know it, great little town. Very politically minded. Can't really let it go in any situation, I feel like sometimes. I think that's one of the flaws. I love the city, a lot of great things, but I feel like Parasite was so popular there, and it was like a month after it came out at least, you still saw like a line out the door. I feel like they're projecting some sort of ideology or class warfare on it, which I can kind of understand from if you look at the movie, but I thought it was just more about the cycles and the habits that we can't break. That's what I took from it. And I thought it was good, but not great. For some reason, people are going nuts over it. I don't see that. Maybe I need to see it again. Parasite in my bottom third. Anyway, we move on. Middle third, here we go. Innings 4, 5, and 6 coming at you. Crucial innings. Little Women. I'm going to put that up there. Now, I love Greta Gerwig. Put her up there. If you took her off, put her up there. Can we put her on here again? Hey, there you go. I loved it. Again, it was a remake. I really enjoyed it. These are all good films at this point. You have to pick winners and losers for some reason in stupid ceremonies, so I put her at 6. Then I've got Ford versus Ferrari, which is super fun. I love it when you go to a movie and you're watching these big stars and maybe they're in Italy as well and they have to say the word Michigan. I don't know why. I just love it. They're mentioning Dearborn and like Ford and Detroit and Michigan. It tickles me. It gives me a little giggle. I giggle a little bit when I hear those things. Anyway, fun movie. Matt Damon, Christian Bale. The actress who played Christian Bale's wife, Greta, take her off. I don't want her to hear this. Is she on there? No, take her off. Okay, all right. That's not a laugh meter, folks. All right, here we go. And then rounding out this middle third, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Great story. I like the idea of Quentin Tarantino time traveling to retell history almost. That's what's happening here, I think. he's retelling us. I don't want to spoil it, but whatever. You can fast forward like 20 seconds. I love the idea of retelling a horrible story, going back in time, and telling it the way that it should have happened. Taking a really sad, terrible thing and making it interesting and fun, or no, I don't know about fun, but just doing it where the bad guys don't win, so to speak, which is kind of the plot of 11/22/63 with James Franco, a series on Hulu, which was also a good idea, but that didn't turn out too well. I don't want to spoil that for you. But it's been like 3, 4, 5 years for that. You should have seen it by now. Anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, DiCaprio, Pitt, great. Highly recommend it. All right, top 3 here. Now we're getting down to it. Top 3. This is the best of the best, I think. People are going to argue with me. I can already feel the hatred coming at me. Number 3. Jojo Rabbit. People love to hate Jojo Rabbit, and I don't understand why. They think it's called satire. What's wrong with you? How the satire backfires, I see in the New Yorker or the New York Times saying that it's, whatever, Nazis. Like, no, it's not. Listen, let me tell you the story, okay? Because you weren't watching the movie while you were there. You were looking at Instagram or whatever you were doing. It's about a boy who's maybe 10, who's a big Nazi, that's funny right there, because it's obviously stupid. He's a Nazi. His mom, Scarlett Johansson, is also a Nazi, because you had to be. And they're hiding a young Jewish girl in their house. The kid doesn't know about it. He finds her. They're at odds, of course, cat and dog here, But by the end, they're together. They're friends. That's the point of the movie. How dumb Nazism is. People don't like to watch this movie. First of all, it's hilarious. What's his director's name? Cartho Neal. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering that. They also did the vampire movie a few years ago, maybe 6 years ago, about I can't remember what it was called. In the Shadows. What We Do in the Shadows, I think. Ugh. Should have wrote that down here too. What We Do in the Shadows should have been about 30 minutes. Would have been hilarious, but it went on for too long. The gags kept going. Whatever. Loved the movie. I thought it was great. Fun time. Very Wes Anderson-ish a little bit. Sort of Royal Tenenbaums, kind of feel. I thought it was great. I don't know what people are talking about. I think it's a top 3 movie of the year. Fun. Here we go. Now, when I give you a number 2, you're going to know what number 1 is. I think. I'm not sure. I think. I have to go, despite all the nominations, I have to go Joker number 2 because I felt like the first 25, 30 minutes moved really fast. But by the time you get to the middle and to the end, I'll need to see it again, but I want to say it's just a masterpiece. There's a scene at the end before he goes to the studio to do the big thing, where he's dancing, and we've kind of seen clips of this, but you don't know unless you've seen the movie, you don't know the music that's playing at the time. One of the best scenes in all of film history, because of the build-up and the tension and everything is just like, oh my God, this guy's nuts. And that scene when he's on the steps is just like, I think I had a Joker smile on my face, like an old school Joker, Jack Nicholson Joker smile on my face. Just like, this is amazing in a terribly frightening way, but still amazing. And again, with the media saying, the military putting out the thing. Look, this is a story of the haves and the have-nots and the people that are forgotten. And, maybe you go about it the wrong way. He certainly goes about it the wrong way. But it's just such a great film. It's a comic book movie with an art house feel to it. And I thought it was great. You got to see this movie. Don't listen to anybody else. People are talking shit about it, and they haven't seen it. I guarantee you a lot of them haven't seen it. They just want to say this movie's about that or this, or it's, promoting whatever. No, it's not. Just watch the movie. You'll see it. You'll like it. I don't see how there isn't a second one with Batman, but there are some things in it, and I don't want to give anything away, but it's one of those things where you, at the end of it, you think, I don't know if it happened. I'm not sure. I could see where you could make the argument that it didn't happen. Great film. Number 2, Sam Mendes, Joker. Fantastic. I think it's going to lose, despite all the nominations, to 1917. What a year. What a year. Great movie. Oh my God. Saw this in Portland, Oregon, Cinema 21, up there in Northwest 21st. Big shout out, Cinema 21. Saw this with a bunch of old people. Senior Citizen Day. I don't know what was going on. The parade was happening or something. I don't know. Bob Evans was having a special. I kid. Old timers, wheelchairs, oxygen tanks. There was a lady clicking her jaw, sounded like an armpit fart the whole time. None of it distracted me because I was so pulled into this movie. Unbelievable movie. Blew me away. Expected nothing from it. Almost. I heard it was good, but I didn't. You never know with a war movie. And it is a war movie, but it's so much more. It's just so much more. By the end of it, you're pulled into this story and the emotion of being human and all the stupid shit that we've done, but all the great things that we're capable of as well. It's got it all. And I'm looking around and all these white hairs are crying and tearing up, and I'm getting emotional from the movie. Not necessarily from them tearing up, but from the movie. I almost went off on an anti-old person tangent there, but I'm not going to. It was a great movie. We all enjoyed it together. We had a moment, and I left the theater blown away, went to a store. I was still emotional, just trying to soak it in. I'm still thinking about the movie. Great film. Is that his name? George McKay is the lead actor in there. Big hunk of a Brit man, just getting it done. He was in 11/22/63, which is weird that I've brought it up twice, with James Franco on Hulu. I assume it's still available. But he did a great job. It really pulls you in to the character and the story and what's going on. These two guys have to make an impossible trek across. I think they're in northern France. Doesn't really say. It doesn't really matter. But the Germans have got them moving into a trap, and nearly 2,000 English soldiers are going to get cut up. They're walking into a trap. These guys have to make it to get there to save all these people. And, just tugs on your heartstrings. It really does. It's a great film. And I think, I think Sam Mendes will get Best Director for this. I think it's going to win. I think it's going to be a sleeper cell, if you will. And I think it's going to take it. There you go. 1917, best film, best picture. I'm going to go with that. All right. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share this with your friends, talk about it at the water cooler, write an old school letter to Mary Shelley, whatever you got to do. Please help me get this thing off the ground. I'm committed to this every single Friday. I'm going to be here talking about pop culture. This week it was the Oscars. Next week it could be anything. Let me know if you got any suggestions. You can go to ArtHouse 43 to find out more about me and the show. I'll put the audio up on iTunes here in a few days or whenever. But this is a video cast, so I'm going to be here every week talking to you. You and me, buddy. We're going to do it together. We got this. All right. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time.